Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't boldly go where no crew has gone before, unless we look at those EDH letters. What do they stand for today, Hado Ken?
Y'all know what it stands for by now. It stands for extraterrestrial dimensional hyperdrive, baby. That's right. We are taking off into space, baby, at 18 million gigawatts. And as Gandalf once said, make it so. But before we go down that long and dusty trail, what the hell are we talking about today, Derek?
Gandalf's that dude from Star Trek that says, "I'm your father," right? That's the...
He's the one.
No, that's not what he said. He said, "Search within your feelings. I am your father."
Okay.
That's not what he said. He says if you wear a green shirt, you gonna die. That's what he says. Or a red shirt or a blue shirt. However they do it in Squid Games, I don't know.
That's the uncut version. All right, so yeah, Edging Eternities is here. And it's got space. It's got what?
Is it Edging Eternities? Or
no, that's just it's Edge of, but Edging Eternities just sounds funnier, so I feel like that's the space. We're in space, guys. There's aliens and there's slivers and Eldrazi, the Kabu. There's everything because we're in space. Yeah, we want to talk a little bit about general vibes of the set, some of the new mechanics, some of the cards we think stand out, and just kind of this set in general, because this is one of the three, I guess. Is it like in-universe Magic sets for the year? We had, obviously, we had Tarkir. We had
Fast and the Furious.
Oh, we did have the Fast and the Furious. That's why I was like, that's not in-universe. That's completely, that's why it didn't go into my head. We had the Fast and the... Yeah.
Yeah, because that set was such hot garbage and hot ass that we sped right past it.
Wait, is this just Fast and the Furious Part 2 because they're in space? Don't they go to space in Fast and the Furious? Isn't that the whole...
Yes. Bow Wow. And the guy from Alabama sent a Pinto into space. And at that moment, I knew the cinema was dead.
So I think this is just Fast and Furious Part 2. Too fast, we're all furious. Let's start talking about some of the vibes, though. I do like space stuff. I know I don't know much about media, but I grew up loving Star Wars. I love Starship Troopers. That's got space in it. Yeah, so I'm a fan of the vibes. How are y'all feeling so far?
All right, take a back seat, amateur. This set so far it has the look, it has the feel. Definitely has space opera. Definitely getting some we'll go into certain media specifically when we start calling out some cards and some art and what they remind us of. But yeah, I like the feel, I like the look of it. We'll talk about some things I'm not feeling specifically with the set later, but I like some of the mechanics we're going to get into in a minute. But yeah, I like the look of it. It definitely feels and looks space, which is not that hard because Magic has been to space before, but with like unsets or whatever. So I don't feel like they stretch too far from what they're used to, and I'm hoping that this all is cohesive lore-wise. Yeah.
I'm actually liking it. I'm a huge space person. Sometimes I'll watch some astrophysics talk in my spare time. I like watching things about different stars, different gas giants, the exoplanets that are close to us. Like I love watching Neil deGrasse Tyson lectures, so space is a huge thing to me. One of my favorite lectures when he most famously coined the term "Who let these hoes in my room?" But I love the whole space element and the space genre, especially when it comes to superhero movies. When it comes to horror genre, I think the whole element of emptiness of space and the vastness of the universe is a very complex and scary topic in general, and just the nuances that you can get. So, and like Sid mentioned, I do like some of the elements that are brought to these cards, and as we talk about them, I want to talk about some of their influences and some of the things that I see in them.
Yeah, and I do like, it feels like, and obviously Magic sets have always had the thing where they kind of copy from pop culture or real world things since like the beginning. There's always some sort of reference. Like that's basically every game does that. But these don't feel, at least from, and at time of recording, we've got, I think about a little bit more than half the set, probably like 3/4 of the set spoiled at this point. The vibes are not, it doesn't feel like Fast and the Furious in space. It doesn't feel like the Clue set or anything like that. It very much does feel like Magic's take on what space is. Like the art feels distinct to me. Like the art, there's a lot of cool art. It's not all just like goofy. Here's every, because I'm not gonna lie, I thought every card was gonna be a Magic character in a astronaut suit when they first announced it. After like some of the other stuff we saw, it's like, oh, there's Rakdos in an astronaut suit. Why does he need an astronaut suit? We don't know, but he's doing it anyway. Like that was kind of where my head was at. So not seeing any of that and seeing some cool like the insect race they have that seems pretty unique, and the way the spacecrafts and everything work, and even the spacecraft designs like all look super cool without just being like, okay, that's just a Millennium Falcon with one extra like arm appendage thing coming out of the top. Like that seems pretty cool so far. But if we're talking about vibes, do we want to talk about spacecrafts? Because that's kind of like, I feel like if you're in space and you don't have spaceships, then like what do you have? That feels like the best place to start.
Yeah,
so
I was hoping to personally see more like Gundams, personally. Ooh. But you know, I guess we couldn't go that far because we already got, you know, Transformers on Earth. Guess we couldn't put Transformers in space. That would have been a bridge too far. But I guess we can settle with spaceships. We can ease the people on there with something simple. So we got a few vehicles that are doing something a little bit different, a little bit spicy. So I applaud the effort that it's not just another vehicle with a number, a power, and a toughness attached to it, and then you crew it. Like, you got to put some effort into these vehicles.
And a fun fact about spaceships, they don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. They dip, just in case anybody was wondering. That's just something good to know about the kind of the build of spacecraft. I do agree. Gundams would have been cool as hell. Like that would have been awesome. Ken is.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Perspective wise, and thinking about the space in general, where would the rear technically be? Where would behind be?
Look, nobody questions the poet. Nobody questions the poet Andre 3000. We just listen to what he says and assume he's right. That's just how that works. We don't.
Nobody questioned when we saw spaceships on Bankhead.
Actually, we did. We all knew Fabo was on crack. We are not even going to play these games. No, I'm going to speak on this. This man created a whole song where he was telling people to help him, and y'all were just sitting there in white tee snapping. What are y'all doing? This man was literally crying for help on Bankhead next to the fish fry at Greg's place, and y'all sitting there with black Air Force Ones and 4X t-shirts snapping back for screaming Laffy Taffy. Y'all let this man lie in the slum. God damn you, Atlanta.
Hey, hood classic.
Sorry, what were we talking about? I kind of got lost.
We're talking about spaceships, or spacecraft, I guess, technically.
Theoretically speaking, like, if you're in space, what is technically up and what is technically down? It doesn't exist.
Look, that doesn't matter, Neil deGrasse Tyson. All right. We're here to talk about just regular old spaceships and spacecraft.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse.
Neil deGrasse. I know you ain't talking Neil deAshy over there. I see you ain't got no lotion on over there.
So this actually happened. Ken, we were actually backstage getting ready to help out with Game Nights Live in Vegas when the news dropped, because I remember I walked back and I heard it half announced, and I was like, what happened? And they announced it on stage that the new like criteria for legendary for commanders is any legendary permanent with power toughness in the bottom right of the front face, which is a whole lot to say. It feels a lot more complicated than just legendary creatures, but effectively, yeah.
But planeswalkers can be legendaries.
They don't have power toughness.
I know, so how can that classify?
Well, because you can always have the text, this card can be your commander, and it overrides everything. Because in the past, like Shorikai, not a legendary creature, was a commander because it said this can be your commander. Planeswalkers was the same way. In the past, it just said legendary creatures can be your commander. Now it says legendary permanents with power toughness in the bottom right of the front face. It's a lot. Basically, what that means is that vehicles and spacecraft that have power toughness can be your commander now. The reason I point out this power toughness thing is a commonly held thought that I saw in a few different places is there's a legendary artifact spacecraft that like taps for like a bajillion mana. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it effectively is like you can station it for like 20 and then it taps for the amount of mana of things that have stationed it, and it would be a busted commander. It doesn't have power toughness, so that doesn't count. It has to have that power toughness. So we could use, there's a number of examples. I think the most fun example to use for Spacecraft right now is Dawnsire Sunstar Dreadnought. So this is a card that is 5 mana to come in. It's got Station, and Station is this ability that basically you can tap another creature you control, and then you add counters equal to its power to station it. And you could do this as a sorcery. The big difference between Station and Crew is that Station doesn't wear off at end of turn. When you station things, that remains there. And then also it has to be done at sorcery speed, whereas Crew you can do it instant speed. So it's a little bit different. It's got its upsides and its downsides. And these station costs are typically a lot higher. For a lot of Crew things, you're crewing it for 1 or 2. For Station, you got like 10, 20 different things like that. So these Spacecraft, because they can become creatures, just like those vehicles can become creatures. If they're legendary, those can be your commander. So with Dawnsire, this is one that I think is interesting as far as like opening up avenues for commander. It's got, if you station it for 10 or more, whenever you attack, Dawnsire deals 100 damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. That's a lot. And then if you crew it for 20 or more, then it becomes a creature, and it's a 20/20 flying creature. So that's just an example of kind of like, it isn't a creature until it gets to that final stage, and it has all of these weird things built in. How do y'all feel about this new commander rule in general? Because look, when I first heard it, I looked it up, and prior to this set, there is nothing exciting. The only exciting vehicle or crew thing was Shorakai, which was already your commander. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So I did take I guess my first impression about that, I guess I was trying to figure out like, all right, what's immediately going to be broken? I guess if they announced that, then it must not be anything too broken out there. So I kind of just started to take a look back to see what type of vehicles are kind of already out here that's kind of worth taking another look at. And I will just make sure I'm doing this correctly. So this can be like, one I kind of had an eye on was Esika's Chariot from
Yes.
Kaldheim. This is a 3/4 green legendary vehicle with has 4/4 power and toughness. You crew it for 4. When it enters the battlefield, you create two 2/2 green cats tokens, and whenever Esika Chariot attacks, you create a token as a copy of a token you control. So basically, almost like a not the proliferate, but the making another
Populate.
Populated. Yeah, that's the P word.
Yeah.
So it's basically populating almost when it attacks. So I was like, that's not a bad vehicle creature kind of thing already legendary that we got in the format. That it's not scary, but it can be effective. All the others I'm not too high on. The Weatherlight can finally get a shot. But that's about it. That's about it. Sure, Kai, do your thing, sure. But you're already doing that. But I'm more curious to see what these new spaceship vehicles things are doing.
Yeah, it gives a chance for stuff like Parhelion, which is the 7 or 8 mana drop that creates 2/4/4 angels when it attacks. The new 7 mana thing that came out in the car series that was supposed to be pumping out.
Is Parhelion legendary?
Yes, it is. I believe so.
I think
Actually, real time.
It is.
The Parhelion. It's not Parhelion.
There's Parhelion 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Parhelion the second. I'm sorry, Junior.
PJ.
Yeah, but that one, I know people cheat that out and like to go ham with that one. There was another one that set that came out at Aether Drift 2 that was like a 7 mana one that's supposed to go ham. But I treat this like I treat every other thing, like when Planeswalkers could become commanders and when they had that Planeswalker equip thing and all that type stuff. I was like, I honestly don't care because how often, especially in our play groups, do we see this?
Yeah. The other thing is like the existing ones in the past were all like, most of them like monocolored or colorless, which already makes it harder to build. None of them were super busted. I think with the new stations and Spacecraft, which I think the focus of this move is so these can be commanders. It's not so much like the past ones aren't as exciting. So we have stuff like Dawnsire, which you can shoot something for 100. Like that's crazy. I think 2 of the best examples are the Precon commanders that are stations, and I think we can just read those real quick just because those are like very good examples, I think, of what they want spaceship or Spacecraft commanders to be, because that's what they printed them for. So we have In Spirit, flagship vessel, which is the Jeskai one. And so this builds a little bit more because so many of them, even in the set, are colorless. So this is one of the few that, like, okay, you actually get access to some colors. Colorless is really tough to build spacecraft around. So this is another one, Station. This one has some lower numbers to deal with. So at 1+ for In-Spirit flagship vessel, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put your choice of a +1 counter or 2 charge counters on a target artifact. That's kind of cool. That means you only need like 1 creature on board to get this rolling. And then you can go for 8+. Other artifacts you control have hexproof and indestructible. And then it's a flying 5/5. That seems a little bit more like on rate of like, okay, that's kind of interesting because you only need to pump 8 into it to then make it a creature, get those things going. And then the other Jund one, this one seems like very strong, is 1 in Jund. For another spacecraft with Station, at 2+, you can pay 1 tap it, sack a land, and draw 2 cards. You may play an additional land this turn. That's wild. And then you can make it a creature for 8+, where it has flying, vigilance, and haste. And whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. Though that seems powerful. The only thing, and I'm curious on y'all's thoughts, the thing that makes me like, to quote Stephen A. Smith, that gives me cause to pause on the spacecrafts in general is needing creatures on board for it to do anything feels very delicate. In like if you need 8-10 power worth of creatures that you're able to tap at sorcery speed, it makes it like, I don't know. I feel like I play a lot of creature light decks. I can count on a single hand the number of times I just casually have 20 power on board that I'm willing to tap down at sorcery speed. It feels very balanced in that way, but it's also like maybe I just don't play big enough creatures. I don't know how y'all feel.
Well, this gives a leg up to untap effects and vigilance as well, so it allows you to go ahead and go into combat. So what it does is it makes you lean on other mechanics, so I'm okay with that. You don't, because if this was just out the gate, you can just do it for free for the free skis, then everybody be crying broken.
So my overall thought, based on what I'm seeing as far as how these abilities work, these are mid to late game cards. You're not getting these commanders out early. It's a lot of setup first. You want to stabilize your board and then get your commander out and then power it up to try to finish off some people. So I don't know how fast you can get this off, because I feel like people will just be holding their removal back for they'll be holding that removal back for your Dawn Sire to, it's like he about to dome me for 100. No, we're not letting that happen. We're not letting that slide. So yeah, you got to figure out where these cards kind of get in and where they kind of fit in, because I don't think these are coming out early game, and I don't. That's why I think these, like Ken said, these are not really going to be a problem.
No, I mean, and you'll see them, like you said, like Derek said, these are just going to be mini game types cards. It's going to be fun to get off. It's going to be fun to do. Like the creature that does like 100 damage. That's just going to be something fun to do. And of course, we're going to figure out ways to break it and make it stupid so I can eventually get banned. But yeah.
So, since you have it pulled up, do you want to read the Eternity Elevator real quick? Because I know that's another one that I think is relatively interesting.
Yeah, so the Eternity Elevator is a 5-drop legendary artifact spacecraft. You can tap it for 3, so I guess that's is that Basalt Monolith that taps for 3?
Well, Basalt Monolith, I think, costs 3 to tap for 3. Gilded Lotus is 5 for 3, but it's any color. And then
Grand
Dynamo is 4 for 3. So it's like in the middle of those.
Somewhere within that range of crappy tapping. But you have Station, where you can basically, once you get 20 plus, you add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. So yeah, once you get to 20 plus, you can just start dumping 20 mana into whatever, 20 mana or more. What are you doing with all that mana? I don't know.
And that's exactly what I'm like. Where I find these interesting is that is such, like, it's like the back and forth of, okay, cool, I can tap 20 mana worth of creatures to turn it into 20 mana, or you can punch someone for 20. Like, that's where it gets very interesting of like, at what point does tapping down your whole board to get these effects make you forget that you've just tapped down an entire board of creatures?
I prefer Escalator over the Elevator because escalators can.
That's true. They just make you work for it. It's okay. So I guess, yeah, we're all on the same page. I agree. I think Ken, you kind of put it best, like late game. These are things that build. Say you both kind of said like kind of similar things as far as like you got to work for it. It's going to build late game. It's not something that like it doesn't seem like it's going to be too much of an issue. I think the lands one's the most powerful one, just because the station costs are so low, and it has to do with playing extra land drops and stuff. So you can kind of use it as a value engine. You can make sure it doesn't become a creature and just use the tap, sack, draw cards, play extra lands constantly. But it'll be fun. I think they'll be fun.
I will throw one caveat.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing, because I guess they just couldn't help themselves by including this into the set. We got to worry about Eldrazi. Some of these spacecraft decks could be Eldrazi's in disguise, and we know how fast Eldrazi can just power up these spacecrafts.
And that's like a little side thing. So I want to finish up with Station real quick with those lands, but we need to circle back to this. Oh, by the way, there's a sliver in Eldrazi. Surprise, we need to get back. That's the most important thing. Let's talk about these station lands real quick. Ken, you already gave us a rundown of them in general, but effectively they're all the same, one for each color. They enter tapped, they tapped for the mana of their color, then they have station, and they all station for 12 plus, and they get some different ability where the green one, you tap a green, tap it, it gives you green for each creature you control at 12 plus. Red one allows you to sacrifice a land and create a 2/2 colorless robot. And then creatures you control get +1/+0 in haste. Red always getting the weird end. Agadia is the white one. That one for 4 mana and tapping it allows you to create a token that's a copy of target artifact or enchantment you control. That seems good. Susur Sekendi, the black one, lets you pay 2, tap it, 2 life, sack a creature, draw cards equal to the sacked creature's power on a land. And then Uthros, Titanic God Core, is the Tolarian Academy one. Pay a blue, tap it, add blue for each artifact you control.
Oh my God! Holy hell!
Before Ken rants, I just gotta say, why did Red get the short end of the stick?
Because Red sucks. We already knew this from the Praetor that nobody cares about. Oh, you're ass. You're ass. The Praetor, whatever. Look, nobody cares about Red.
At least from the commander perspective, said you were so on point. Like green, Gaia's Cradle. White, copy your doubling seasons or your anointed processions and all that. Black, sack creatures, draw all the cards you want. Blue, Tolarian Academy. Red, you get a 2/2.
Wait. You get a 2/2 that gets +1 and you're forgetting about that.
So it's a 3/2 with haste. It has to. I don't understand other formats. So maybe like there's like some mono red aggro decks. The other thing is you have to station for if they put that effect on a land without the station and just came in tapped and did that, I still wouldn't play it. You're sacking a land to do that. You're sacking a land as part of that cost.
Wait, how do you beef up stations again?
You tap creatures with total power.
In red?
Yes.
In red. The Go Fast deck is supposed to do this. Man, I can't see it right now because I don't play lesser formats. I'm pretty sure somebody in Modern is going to figure this stupid thing out. But I don't care.
Mono
this is
red
dumb.
and standard. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, red and
dumb.
lesser formats make sense.
This is so dumb.
In terms of commander.
This is so dumb.
Yeah. Well, to make it worse, even the good ones. Here's the other part of the question is, how good are they? In the sense of, for a land to come in tapped and you need to tap down 12 power worth of creatures to turn them on. Where are you on?
Yeah, I think Uthros could. I don't want to be over dramatic, but I feel like that's just Tolarian Academy, right?
That is Tolarian Academy.
Yeah, and Urza's still out here, right? That's still a thing.
Not
one of
just
them is
that,
going to
but
probably have to go.
No. Here's Uthros is the easiest one to do by far because all you got to do was pump out one of the artifact creatures that get
constructs?
+1.
Urza just makes construct. That's what I'm talking about.
One construct can set this off by turn, I don't know, 3 or 4. So that's not a problem. So that one's just busted. And number 2 on the list is clearly Adiago, the windswept bastion. This bastard right here. Oh, I'm gonna have fun breaking this. You know that legendary thing don't matter thing? Oh man, not in this dojo.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth because these are going to be some of the things that are just like, if you're in a play group that plays enough targeted removal for lands, so like the Chaos Warps of the world, Strip Mines, those types of things, these are dangerous to play because if you tap down your board and play this, someone at the table is going to be like, Strip Mine, I now kill you because you have no blockers. That was dumb. But if you're in a play group that doesn't have any land removal, these are going to be disgusting. Because, and obviously from a more casual perspective, part of the power of Tolarian Academy is the fact that it can like turbo. The reason it's banned everywhere is you can get it out like turn 1 or turn 2 and turbo into like a 12 mana turn because of the fact there's so many artifacts that you just drop for nothing. With Affinity and all these other things, like I don't even know from a different format perspective, but just from Commander, you drop a bunch of 0 mana things, something with Affinity, this, that, you can get Tolarian Academy pumping out mana. Because these come in tapped and require you to tap power, a lot of those combo artifact decks, they'll be more late game than they would otherwise. Like, you're not going to have Uthros tapping for 12. You're not going to have 12 power worth of creatures in the first few turns of most artifact decks. At least not the way they're currently. Even like the highest power, busted, obnoxious decks, those revolve around fast mana and all the mana rocks and all those.
Let me stop you on one thing, specifically because we're talking about blue.
Yeah.
Blue says, I will tap and untap myself no matter how many times I want to. And you said that you only need the power and the station counters stay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Problem.
Tap, untap, tap, untap, tap, untap.
Yeah. No, and that's where I'm very back and forth on how much of a problem. Because the reason I'm thinking about it is like, I remember thinking this when they printed the other Tolarian Academy functional reprint of the 2 blue-red enchantment. And I think if you control like 4 more artifacts, you flip it.
Yeah. This is the
Storm the Vaults.
Storm the Vault, yep.
Yeah. I don't see that card played ever. Like ever.
Is asking for 2 colors, one thing.
And that might be the difference. Growing Rights I do see, but I don't see it all the time. And the number of times that it comes out, it either gets blown up before it flips, or the person like becomes such a target the turn it flips, because you flip that one on your end step, so you have basically a full turn before you take full advantage, and the whole table kills you. Like, part of the power of the originals is you get it out, and the turn you play it, you win. Like, knowing this from playing Cradle and Titania, there's so many games where I play the Cradle, that same turn I win because I'm generating 1 million mana, untapping, tapping, and then bam. What these cards, they're very powerful. I think they're good. They look fun. I think the thing is, though, as soon as you drop a Tolarian Academy or a Cradle tapped with the need to station it, the whole table's like, either we're going to remove it or we're just going to kill that guy. And it came in tap. There's a whole ass turn where everyone, like, not only before you station it, because you have to do it as a sorcery too. That's the other part, is like, it comes in, you either tap down your board while it's tapped and everyone gets a free shot to kill you, or you wait for it to untap, and then on your turn, you tap down your board. There's going to be opportunities for the entire table to murder you right after you play these cards a lot of the time, which I think is good. Like, I think that's how it should be. If you play something as busted as a Cradle or a Tolarian Academy, everyone should have free shot to just tee off on your face for as long as they want. I think that should just be on the text of the card. That should just be fair game. But
people should be able to tee off on your face as long as they want to.
Yeah,
the phrasing could have been better. Sorry. Yeah, said you got.
Yeah, my point is, by the time you drop one of these lands, your deck is probably built around something like this. It's already probably fitted into what your deck does. You're not throwing Uthros into every blue deck. You might be throwing Walking Haven, Avendo, the green one, into every. You might be throwing Gaia's Cradle into every green deck, but it might not be every blue deck for the blue one. But I'm just saying, if people are playing these, they're playing these for that reason, and they will make sure to protect it. They will make sure to, like you said, try to win on that turn that is coming out, do some tapping, untapping shenanigans all in that same turn. The turn is going to take probably about 15, 20 minutes, but hey, that's what these cards incentivize.
I just don't get, if I have 12 power on the board, like Derek said, why don't I just hit you in the face? Like, why? You know what? I'm not going to hit you. I'm going to charge this proton cannon so I can do something devastating to you later. Just so you, okay, now I'm at 12 power. Now I can activate. In response to you tapping the creature to put counters on your stations, I blow up. I'm going to beast within your station. And as you sit there and you chase me around with a baseball bat and a hot skillet, I get to giggle like the Joker as I scurry off into the darkness.
I think I'm more conflicted, and I'm with you too. Like, I'm so conflicted on these, in that they could be so bad they're unplayable, and they could be so busted that they're like game changers, and I wouldn't be completely shocked either way. Like, I lean more towards the lower end, just because I think tapped and stationing, I think that's a bigger hurdle than people are gonna think. Sorry, yeah.
It's like if Yugi was summoning Exodia and he put the last piece down and somebody just played Counterspell. It is like, I have to murder you now. Like, I have to pull your breath from existence.
First of all, you don't play Exodia. All right.
You become Exodia.
Exodia assembles in your hand. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Like you put the feet, the leg, and you put the last arm on there.
Like you draw your card, and somebody's like, quick spell effect, discard your hand.
Exactly. Or you play the last arm of Exodia, and the trigger to win the game goes on the stack, and you go in turn, and you like, okay, wait,
hold up.
But I did the God thing. It wasn't.
I did the God thing. Wait, I'm supposed to create the
win.
The eye's supposed to glow on my forehead, and I'm supposed to turn into a 77-year-old Egyptian man in a 13-year-old boy body who tell you a 15-year-old girl is in love with.
Hey, are we done talking about the station lands?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the planets. Yeah. Well, these are more to see. I think we're all excited, but cautiously so. I don't know. They're cool. At least they're making us think. They're not just like a full on, well, this is busted, why do they do this? Or this is dumb, why nobody's gonna play this? Like, they're very much making our brains go. All right, last thing. Sorry, yeah.
I have more interest in the McRib coming back, which I will never eat because that's not even meat. But yeah, keep going.
Okay, the last mechanic before we talk about closing out with some thematic thoughts that Seth alluded to earlier is warp. We don't have to spend too much time on warp. It's interesting. It's almost like a dash or blitz or a million other mechanics that have happened, or probably some version of kicker. Warp effectively says you can cast a spell for its warp cost from your hand, exile this creature at the beginning of the next end step, and then you may cast it from exile at a later turn. So it's almost got some foretell there too. Exalted Sunborn. It's got some fancy art. It's 3 white. Ken, you'll like this card. 4/5 Angel Wizard. Flying lifelink. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many are created instead.
God,
so we get another.
How many token doublers does Magic have? Jesus Christ.
Never enough, apparently. There's a lot. So on top of that, it has warp. That's what we're going to get into. So it has warp, 1 and a white. So basically, it's almost like a weird foretell version because you can pay this reduced warp cost. It comes in for a turn, then it gets exiled, and then since you can't warp from exile, you can just cast it for its regular mana cost at a later point in time if you want it to stick around. So it has this weird, yeah.
It's plot with extra steps.
It's a lot of things with extra steps. It reminds me of like 6 different mechanics just like fused.
I like it. Warp can be a problem because all you got to do is cast it for his warp cost and then flicker it. I don't like that. Granted, Exalted might be one of the stronger warp cards we're looking at.
I think so, especially in the case of like token doublers. Most games, the trouble is you don't want to play it and pass. You want to play it and go off the same turn you play it. So you don't even care about the next turn. You only care about it the turn you're playing it. And for 2 mana, yeah, the Exalted seems very powerful. But there's the other ones aren't quite as, at least from what we've seen so far, the other ones aren't quite as spicy for Commander stuff.
Yeah.
I guess
this is giving a lot of cards that care about casting things from another zone sometimes. So if you want to The warp cost, of course, is coming from your hand, so it's like I like that sneak attack kind of thing or reduced attack. So I guess it's more so along the lines of like blitz or something like that.
Or evoke. Evoke is a very good. Evoke's a really good example.
Evoke
in the
Evoke
sense
says
of
you go away like right away though. Sometimes.
Yeah, but like as far as like an
Evoke,
alternate, it's like the 2025 version of Evoke.
Yeah. But yeah, all those alternate costs to let you get something out cheaper, definitely love that. But to help things stick around, I also love that idea too. So keep your exile flicker effects in your deck, people.
Yeah. Ken, there's one more I'll bring up just because I feel like this is a card that you'll appreciate. We're going to die to it at some point. It's Might Form Harmonizer. It's 2 green for a 4/4 insect druid. It's got warp for 3, so you can pay it for 1 reduced. And it says whenever a land you control enters, double the power of target creature you control until end of turn. So everything's just Tifa.
Everything is Tifa.
Everything
is Tifa. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
That's scary as shit. Just whatever you want's Tifa, especially.
Yeah, that's similar to another green card, but it's a bigger creature though. And I think it only works when you put an enchantment into play. But yeah, lands, you can definitely get a lot more of those into play in a turn.
I mean, that's just scary because if you keep up like some fetch lands or some evolving wilds and stuff, and you just swing with the team, it's like, oh, I cracked these 3 fetch lands. I'm going to double and double and double the one thing you didn't block. Now you die. Good luck. I hope you enjoyed your game. It's done.
You're dead.
You're so dead.
I say you, he dead.
He's dead. So that's Warp. Warp's cool. I think as we see more cards with it, it's not like a game changing. Whereas like Station is almost brand new. It feels very different, even from Crew. Like it feels like it's a whole new thing. The planets are a whole new different type of lands. Like that all feels so different. Warp feels more like a mechanic we've seen or we will see. So that it's cool. I think we'll definitely have some playable cards, especially with the speed of Commander. Having cheaper versions of things to play is always good. But let's end this episode talking about the important things that we alluded to before. It's fucking Eldrazi and slivers just casually there. I don't read anything, so I don't know where they came from. Said, do you have any explanation as to why this is happening?
So right now, Magic Podcast is putting out like 50-minute episodes of Edge of Eternities. They got like 10, 20 episodes of this joint. I've made it through the second half of the second episode in my sleep, so I barely listened to the first one. But so yeah, I do know there's a character that we're supposed to be following at some point. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I think Sammy or something like that. Sammy's looking for their cat. It's a whole thing. But basically, I haven't made it to that part of the adventure necessarily. But yeah, I don't know if the Eldrazi or the slivers even show up in the story. I don't know if they actually will. Listeners, if you can tell us if you made it that far, tell us if they do, or are they showing up in a set because space? Or beyond space. And we have to say, yeah, Eldrazi and slivers probably come from this corner of the universe.
I guess it's a question for both of you. If we could have either Eldrazi or slivers come back as like a big bad in a future Magic set, which one would you want? Because I can't tell. I remember a while back they had teased like one Phyrexian thing, and then obviously there was the whole Phyrexian block of things. So I don't know if this is just a random aside or one of these might be coming back. Which one would y'all pick for the big bad?
Like, would you like the P glass or P volcanic rock? Dealer's choice. I don't know. How about this? I don't care.
So personally, when I first heard about this set, I was curious about what Tezzeret was doing out here. He's like our inside man from the main Magic universe coming over here to this universe. So I'm curious to see what he was cooking up. Like I said, I haven't made it to the part of the story yet, but I hope it's something good. Maybe it's like, hey, I'm trying to control some Eldrazi or something, or see where the Eldrazi are coming from. But I feel like having Eldrazi show up is taking a lot of that Eldritch horror away from, or Eldritch mystery away from Eldrazi. Like the more, I know I hate to say it, the more we get of Eldrazi, the less I care about them.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to know what is Emrakul. that's all I want to know.
Tezzeret, it looks like a space pimp, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I mean, I agree with both of your statements. I do agree, Space Pimp, but also said I agree with the Eldrazi thing. I think slivers are one of those things. The more we explore and learn about them, I think the more interesting they can be. Like learning about the origins of slivers, and I know we got Sliver Gravemother as part of that pre-con a few years back, and it was so cool to learn about like a other civilization that had been murdered by slivers. It's almost like the slivers remind me of like the xenomorphs in Alien. I think that's a lot of what they were inspired by. In that, learning lore and backstory and stuff can make it more interesting. Versus, I 100% agree with Eldrazi. The whole purpose is for them to be the most terrifying, mysterious things ever. As soon as we learn more about them, it's almost like even when they made their in like Battle for Zendikar and stuff like that, when they had their like appearances and all that, they became such like almost like comic book villainy in that they were just fighting people. We beat the Eldrazi. They like almost lost the aspect of horror to them. Like I loved how they did Emrakul in Eldritch Moon and stuff in the sense of like an entire plane is being warped and made terrifying. What is this thing? And the mysterious thing is this like otherworldly being pulling all the strings. Like that's how I feel like Eldrazi. I don't want to know any more than that. I want it to be big, scary, mysterious. So yeah, my vote would be slivers just because I agree. I think if we just spend a whole block of sets learning about Eldrazi, I feel like it's just going to kill Eldrazi for me. I think they're not going to be scary anymore. They're just going to be like, hey, there's Tony and Frankie.
Tony
they're
the
here with tentacles.
Tony the 7-finger pimp.
I get more symbiotes than anything else than that. Yeah, they feel more like symbiotes.
You talking
is
about
that the Venom thing?
Talking the slivers?
Jesus Christ. Yes, that's Derek, the Venom thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I give up.
I wanted to make sure.
You do know that the symbiotes come from a different planet, right?
Yes, I've seen the movies. I love Tom Hardy.
Anyway, they come from a planet.
Oh man, that hurt. Yeah, so we didn't really make as many space references as I thought we would because I think that
let's have a final let's have a speed round. Let's look at some name a card. Say what it's from. Go.
No. I got it. I already got my list up. All right, we're gonna start with Kilo Apple G Mind. That's clearly General Grievous getting built from the ground up. Or either that or he's stuck in a portal. All right, moving on. We have a long-range sensor. I like this one because this clearly is representative of a superhero that comes from the Superman movie. I'm not going to say which one, just in case I don't feel like spoiling it, but that looks like one of his devices. Moving on, Starfield vocalist. That is clearly a Fifth Element reference. We all know the blue chick that be making it bounce. I know, that's a classic one back there. The the right hand, it's an alien thing that does stuff with people's butts, and it looks like a jellyfish on smack. All right, mouth of the storm. That's clearly old school Fantastic Four, where Galactus was a cloud. Xenomorph Imago. That's Samus. But when this got affected by alien spores. The Dominion bracelet is when Apocalypse gets the Infinity Gauntlet. And yes, I know what I said. Not Apocalypse. The Darkseid. When Darkseid gets the Infinity Gauntlet, the End Stone is clearly an Infinity Gem. It's most likely the Power Gem. And Chrome Companion, that is Ein from it escapes me. Anime. Spike Spiegel.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. That is clearly Ein. Ed done did something to make him blow up, and now we feel for him. And Worm Wall Sweeper is clearly from the Nova Corps, one of their ships.
I think you're chat. I think you're editing this one. Good luck finding all those cards. I was trying to follow the names. The funniest part was when you said the name MM and MM, I was like, you're not even trying. But then I saw the name. And that's the best guess I could give it is MM.
I know exactly what he was talking about when he said that.
I think his name is
the creature's name is get my name out your mouth. That's what it is.
He got 3 M's to start his name. His name starts with Like, how is that a name?
I was having a slight stroke trying to say his name. I was like, okay.
You gave it. Look, you've mispronounced many a name. You killed that one. You were spot on. Because I don't know what the. Okay.
Yeah, I threw one in the Discord called just because could be just for us, but this is Nova Hellkite. Apparently, they just put Slifer the Sky Dragon in here because why not?
Oh, that is 100% Slifer. What? That is like literally spot on. That is so funny. All right, who's this? And that's Raymond Swanland. Okay, we see the inspiration there. I think references, the only one I really had was the Sariema reminds me of some variant of, it looks like you fused like a Y-Wing with the main bugs from Starship Troopers.
All right, so those were some awesome discussions, just kind of jumping into Edge of Eternity. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on out there, and I hope we really get like a deep dive when the set really starts popping up. I know it's been spoiler season, and spoiler season is almost over, but I really want to hear what that lore has to say about, like, I know this is tangential to the regular Magic universe, but Tezzeret is in here, so I gotta see what Tezzy T is like. What is he doing? Like, what are we doing over here? What's the plan? Is it gonna end up coming back over into the regular Magic universe after he does something diabolical over there? I'm rooting for you, Tezzy T. But anyway, we had a great episode. Hope you guys can contribute to the discussion down there. Let us know your first impressions of Edge of Eternity. What are some effects or mechanics that we should be worried about? What are some creatures with some of these mechanics we should be worried about? Is the station thing something diabolical that we're just not seeing? Are these planets going to be game changing, or are they going to be just duds? Let us know in the comments below. But if you want to hook us up and help the channel out, be sure to look at our affiliate, Heavy Play. They definitely have some great accessories, whether you're playing in your LGS or you're playing at the bar. This is a great way to keep your stuff protected. Also, check out our own affiliated store. I guess it's affiliated with us, but we have our own Teespring store. You can check out some of our shirts and help out the channel with some of the things in the shop there. And I guess this is the perfect time, the perfect setup to pass it over to Ken to let you know why you guys should be shopping with Into the AM.
All right. First of all, some of y'all play horribly. Y'all decks is trash. And you want me to tell you something? Whenever we go to these conventions and y'all tell me y'all gonna bring it, y'all leave it at home on the desk next to your self-respect and your discipline. So let me tell you something right now. If you ain't gonna at least bring the heat, you better look fresh while you doing it. Into the AM. And you know what? It is very topical right now because we talking about space. You want me to tell you what happens in space? The birth of stars, explosions, black holes, white dwarfs, galaxies.
I'm sitting right here.
Edge of Eternity. Huh?
You said white dwarfs.
Oh, yeah. White. You just interrupted my spiel while I was doing all that. Sorry. I was sitting there cooking. I was giving a test on Sermon on the Mount. I'm about to bring the people home, and you decide to put a fart joke in there. Thank you very much, Derek. Anyway, we're talking about the grand scale of the universe, the cosmos, and how things are created from dust and balls of explosion. And you want to tell you what else we can see as we look off into the vastness and the infinity of space? We get to see you dressed clean. We see you dressed super fly. We see you shining bright like a diamond. Yeah, there are two things that glow in the darkness. It's a supernova and you. And that's where Into the AM comes in, baby, because it's space. We cannot hear you scream, but we can see that drip. And you just a leaking, baby. You just a leaking. Thank you very much. Thank you for continuing to support the channel and showing us what you guys do. And just to let you guys know, we will be at Gen Con. That is the one time where we can play Magic to our heart's content without having to do stuff for production. We will be there, and we will be shutting it down. Magic 24 hours. Well, them, because I'm going to be playing some D&D every now and then. But we will be there.
Magic 23 hours, an hour for noodles, and then back to Magic.
You know, at Indie All Night, we up Indie All Night. We all up in there. But thank you guys for joining and rocking with us. In the bottom, tell us what you think about this set, some of the mechanics you're looking for, some of the cards you're adding to your 99. Maybe even your commanders, you know. And tell us what you can't wait to see. Tell us about the sets you're most anxious for and the things that make you enjoy Magic or things that make you want to disperse the justice into your victims. But thank you guys for rocking with us. To make sure, we're on a path now to hit 25,000 subscribers. I can't believe we have as many as we do now. But go ahead and share the word. Let us get to that 25K, and we'll do something special, like, I don't know, gameplay video if you guys wanted that badly. But thank you guys for rocking with us. Like and subscribe. But until next time.